You remember the story when Peter was walking on the water to meet Jesus halfway. As the disciples and Jesus was on the boat, when a huge storm came in the midst, of course the disciples were panicking. And who could have the disciples turn to in times of trouble? Of course it was Jesus. They believed that Jesus was the one that could have saved them during that time of trouble. As Peter was walking on the water, and of course you may have known that he was drowning when he took his eyes off of Jesus. But a lot of people thought that when Peter took his eyes off of Jesus because of the storm, that he began to drown. But in reality, it wasn't necessarily the storm that allowed Peter to drown, but it was the wind that was coming left and right. You see, as huge of a storm that was, it was the wind which allowed Peter to take his eyes off of Jesus. You see, it's not about the storms, but how many of us are equipped to be ready and to be fully prepared for when the wind comes at us, when circumstances that are out of our control get the best of us, when the objectives out of our lives take us and take our eyes off of Jesus and take us off of the wrong track. The reasons of the wind is to knock you off of your path. Many of us are not prepared for when the wind comes at us. And when the wind comes at us, that's when we're so quick to be distracted. That's when we're so quick to be manipulated. That's when we're so quick to take our eyes off of Jesus. And that's when our peace gets disturbed. That's when our joy gets taken away. You hear people all the time say, if you're not happy, it's not worth it. But I want to challenge your way of thinking. Would you rather have happiness or joyfulness? Because joy, you can only find joy in one place, and one place only. And that is in Jesus. That's in the Son of Man. And when you realize that only the Son of Man can bring you joy, then everything else will begin to start to be meaningless. And in this season, 'tis the season, Christmas, Xmas, Christmas, whatever you want to call it, I challenge your way of thinking to really ask yourself, to really think deeply, and to go internally, not externally, but internally, and to ask yourself, how can I be more like Jesus? Because in reality, we as humans are limited. We don't know when the wind is going to come, and we don't know where it's going to come. So the best thing that we can possibly do is to stay prepared for when it does come. And the only way that we can do that is when we're fixing our eyes strictly focused on Jesus. And that takes practice and application. The joy of the Lord is your strength. When you find true joy, it begins to become peace. And when your peace is in the midst, then everything else will flow right from it. All the fruits of the Spirit comes from that. But it's hard. It's hard when the wind comes at us and we're not fully prepared for it. It's hard when we have circumstances, people, things that come into our life that ultimately pushes us back. But when you realize that the joy of the Lord is your strength, everything else will be meaningless. Stay connected to the true source, that is Jesus. The wind is going to come, but are you going to be prepared for it?